All right, you're wondering how to send money to the Philippines. Now, one way, I've traveled here and I brought money in my wallet so that I could pay my team. But otherwise, if you don't travel here, how do you pay people in the Philippines? That's what we're going to talk about. All right, so yeah, I'm here in the Philippines, and we're wondering how do you send money to the Philippines? We're actually going to answer quite a lot of questions because it's not a 10-minute answer. I send money to the Philippines through PayPal. I mean, that's how I pay you and the rest of our team. What are some other ways that you know of that people can send money to the Philippines?
Well, there's always wire transfer.
Okay,
which obviously is a lot more hassle. The fastest way is PayPal.
Mm-hmm.
So
there's other services that we've used over the years, but they've kind of come and gone.
they're not as easy to use as PayPal is, because PayPal you just put in the numbers and then just hit send.
Yeah.
And for other apps, they ask too much. You need this identification or whatever.
Yeah.
And so that's probably why they fail.
Okay, so this is an important question that gets asked hundreds of times every month. Who owns the Philippines? I have the answer, but I'm wondering if you do.
Me? Jesus, maybe.
You answered it right, and I like your second answer too. So there are, in a previous video, we talked about how many people live in the Philippines. There's over 100 million people, and I'd say, okay, the Philippines is owned by 100 million people. So you being one of them.
Yes.
You own a piece of it, right?
Yep.
So that's who owns the Philippines. I don't know how you're going to answer this one because I wouldn't know how to answer it. What was the goal of the Philippine?
Make you happy.
Make you happy. Okay, I like that answer. Do you need a visa to go to the Philippines?
I think it depends where you're coming from.
Okay. So it depends on the relationship between those countries?
Yes. ASEAN countries, Southeast Asian countries, I don't think they need visas.
And USA does not?
USA does not. I think China does, and other countries do too.
All right, this is a useful question. How much dollars to Philippine peso? Kind of bad grammar, but I understand the question.
I think right now it's about 52 to a dollar.
Yeah, 52 point something.
Yes.
So that means if you change, if you have $1 and you change it, you'll get 52 pesos.
Right.
If you have $100, you'll get 5,200 pesos. So there you go. How do you say hello in the Philippines? I bet your and my answers are going to be different.
Mabuhay.
So that's in Tagalog.
Yeah.
But in the Philippines, to say hello, you say hello.
Oh yeah, well,
So how do you say it in Tagalog?
hello.
No, but in Tagalog.
Mabuhay.
Babuhay. That's 3 syllables. Babuhay. Babuhay. Okay, what currency does Philippines use?
Peso. Philippine peso.
The peso. How long is flight to the Philippines?
Depends
on where you're coming from.
Right.
I had to hop from Salt Lake City to Los Angeles, which is an hour and a half, 2 hours sometimes. Then from from Los Angeles to Shanghai, which was 13 hours. On the way back is less than 12 this time. And then from Shanghai to here, I don't remember.
5 hours, maybe 4 or 5 hours.
3, 4, 5, something like that. It depends on where you come from. So that's the answer. What is the weather in the Philippines? Right now, it's sunny.
We have 2 seasons, rainy season and summer. So that's it.
And a typhoon every other week.
Yeah, every other week.
How much is plane ticket to Philippines? All right, obviously that's going to vary. If you look Los Angeles, LAX to Manila, and you do a search on Expedia, there's a feature in Expedia that you can have it look at flexible dates. And you can just pick different months, use flexible dates, and you'll find sometimes tickets will range $1,500 to $2,500. But if you look at the right times, you'll find it as low as $500 round trip. So if you search and you can be flexible on your dates, you can find a good ticket. What to buy in Philippines? So somebody wants to come here and buy something. What should they buy?
Dried mangoes. Dried mangoes are cheap.
So why dried mangoes? I've heard that a few times.
Because we have lots of mangoes.
But why not fresh?
Well, because it might get rotten in the plane.
Oh,
maybe.
to take home.
Yeah,
So,
to take
okay.
home. Might get overripe.
So I've had some mangoes, very delicious. I thought they were delicious, totally sweet, but he says, "Nah, this one's sour."
Yeah, not really that sweet.
Maybe you just had a bad one. Okay, what is the temperature in the Philippines?
I only know it in Celsius, and so On a normal day, you get 35, 32 Celsius. When you're lucky, you get 30. It can get as high as 37, sometimes 40.
I'm thinking that that's around 90 degrees Fahrenheit.
I'm not. I don't
I think
really
it's,
know.
but is it the same temperature year round?
Oh no.
For the
no,
most
no,
part,
no. We're lucky right now.
is it normally?
It's not. It's not as hot. Because sometimes, there's actually this weather app, and then it would say, feels like, and sometimes that weather app would say like feels like hell. All
So it can
season.
get really hot.
Yes.
But like in Utah, we'll have temperatures that get up to 100 degrees, which is probably like 35.
Oh, you're.
But then
that's
in the winter, we'll have below freezing, so below zero.
Yeah, we don't.
So you don't have
go-
fluctuations like that
No.
because you're a lot closer to the equator, right? Is the Philippines a poor country?
Yes, it is a poor country. There's no denying that.
There's wealth here,
There is.
but there's a lot of poverty.
Majority of the people in Philippines is in poverty, but there are also lots of rich people. But yeah, it is a poor country.
What is the main religion in the Philippines?
Catholic.
That was surprising to me when I first learned that, because I would have guessed, I just didn't know Christianity was
Yes,
so
it's
so
because
prevalent.
of the Spanish colonization.
Next to Christianity, what's the
I think Muslim.
Muslim? How much does it cost to live in the Philippines?
Hmm.
We were kind of talking about this on the drive.
Yes, it depends where you stay, of course. You could find houses for rent. Let's just say it's just you. You wanted to rent a condominium in an urban setting. If you're not too picky, I guess you could get away with 20,000 per month for your one-bedroom condominium.
So that would just be for the house, or that be for your food and everything?
No, that's for your house.
Okay.
For an okay setting, and then or you could find really cheap homes for like 12,000 with 3 bedrooms and a garage.
Mhm.
But it's not. It's far from where you would usually work.
So let's translate that into U.S. dollars for those of you who use dollars. 20,000 would be about $400.
Yes, about that. But keep in mind that it's not a big home. It's just
Yeah.
pretty much a box.
Well, so if you doubled that,
Uh,
if you had 40,000, you could pay for the house that's a box. You could then pay for food, utilities,
Yes, yep, that's right.
leisure trips to the beach.
Yeah, I'm speaking for myself maybe, but let's just say.
What's your like a dream life?
Oh, for my dream life, I would like to have like a couple $1,000,000 a month that I could spend
There we
on
go.
vacations. But being realistic, let's just say I get a condominium. I have a car that I pay on a monthly basis. You have your phone lines, internet. You'd be good with 50,000 a month for utilities and bills.
So on 50,000 is about
$1,000.
about 1,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
$1,000. I'm expecting you to know this very exactly. When was the last solar eclipse in the Philippines?
Happened a couple weeks ago, I guess.
Did
I'm
it?
not sure. Yeah.
Well, according to my resource, which I'm sure is accurate because it was online,
Okay.
is March 9th of 2016.
Hmm.
Apparently, they happen quite regularly here.
Yeah. Does.
The next one is scheduled to be December 26th, 2019. So a year from now in December. Like we
Okay.
we had one several months ago in the United States where the band of totality or whatever came right across the whole United States, and it was a big deal on YouTube and on the news. And I guess the next one is going to happen for like 20 or 30 years. So if you want to see a solar eclipse, come to the Philippines.
Yes. Come next year.
All right. So does it snow in the Philippines?
No, it does not.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Has it ever snowed?
There was this one instance, according to my parents. There was a hailstorm in Baguio. Baguio is.
Oh, okay.
like,
That's like 5,000 feet elevation.
it's like the coolest place in.
Average
Philippines.
temperature is like 75 Fahrenheit year round.
So
23
according to
Celsius.
them, there was one time where it rained ice. Just one time.
Just one time. And it could be myth. Could be myth.
Could be a lie.
I looked up because I was curious what the tallest mountain was. Like
Oh,
to
yeah.
wonder if it got snow there. Mount Apo,
Yes, Mount Apo.
2,956 meters. which in my head I calculate that is 9,698. I actually used a calculator. That's how many feet. So 9,000, almost 9,700 feet. That's a pretty tall mountain.
It is.
In Utah, a mountain that tall would get snow. Well, you get snow in the valley, so that doesn't help. But apparently, they say it's never had snow.
I think so. I heard it gets really really cold. Like you need to have all the works,
All the layers.
all the stuff. If you want to go there, I was actually planning to go there with my friends, but I don't know. Never happened.
Hasn't happened yet.
Hasn't happened. Maybe next time.
So we already got to this one. Coolest place in the Philippines, meaning temperature.
Yeah,
Not like the coolest, like, ooh, what's the coolest place to go, man?
Oh, my house.
Or the SM Mall. That was a pretty cool place.
Yeah.
Everyone was hanging out there. But temperature-wise, it's Baguio. Mid-70s year-round.
Yep.
Oh, wow, you got a caterpillar on you. It was fuzzy. How old is the Philippines? It's like, how do you answer that?
I don't know. How old is the universe?
Hundreds of millions of years old, right? Like, how long have these islands been here? Is all of the Philippines formed by volcanoes?
I'm not so sure.
So the answer is we don't know. Does Amazon deliver to the Philippines?
Yes, it does. You have to pay additional costs for shipping.
Because that's a big deal. I shop on Amazon a lot. This to me sounds like a silly question, but it gets searched hundreds of times a month on Google and YouTube. I don't understand why. Where to buy Hubba Bubba gum in the Philippines?
Oh,
Is that a thing? What's Hubba Bubba gum?
I'm not sure where, but I remembered having those when I was little.
So it's something from the Philippines or something? Maybe
I'm not sure where it's from actually. It sounds Arab or something. I don't know.
I mean, yeah. So this is a deep question,
Okay.
and it's also an assumptive question. How to eliminate corruption in the Philippines? You've got the answers, I'm sure. Is there corruption here?
Yes.
Okay, is that like government corruption?
Yes, a lot of corruption, but I think the change has to come within you first.
I love it.
You should be the change. You shouldn't wait for change to happen. I think you should start with yourself.
I think we've got the rise of a new hero here.
Yeah.
This is awesome. I love it. Okay, this is a controversial question here, but it's people want to know how to prevent teenage pregnancy in the Philippines.
Have safe sex, I guess.
It's the same all over the world. It's not different in the Philippines than in another country. But maybe they're asking that. It gets asked hundreds of times a month.
I think
How to prevent it. Is there a high prevalence of it?
I think because a couple years ago, sex education it's not being taught in school.
Hmm.
Not like I think nowadays it's being discussed, but yeah, so I guess that's the
Okay.
reason why it's being searched so much.
That makes sense. Okay, and to wrap it up with a pretty cool question, if you answer it in a cool way, what can you describe the Philippine traditions? So maybe what are some Philippine traditions?
We are really respectful of our elders. Whenever we see, like, if I see my grandparents or some other old people, I can them. Could you give me your hand? We bless our forehead.
Oh wow.
It's just like a sign of respect for old people, and so
So you do that, you grab their hand.
yeah, put on my forehead.
Very nice.
Yeah. So yeah, it's what you do to your elders.
That's
And,
a cool
we
that's a
don't
cool tradition.
we don't really raise our voice to old people. Well, it depends if they're being rude to you, but normally we care so much for our family. And
So family is really important.
yes, family is really really important for folks.
On another video, I was asking each of our team members different things, and family was brought up in
Right.
every interview.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
Family's awesome. So hopefully you enjoyed this episode, kind of a different style of episode for our channel here. But if you liked it, make sure you comment below, subscribe. We'll see you tomorrow.